Remember Nexium, Nxivm? I think they called it Nexium. It was like this huge scandal, multi-level marketing scheme, but also like a sex cult. And they branded themselves like a self-help, you know, success to business type of thing. But it was actually kind of like what Scientology is, but in the sex cult world. So, former actress Allison Mack, this is her story. She just got out of jail apparently not long ago. Allison Mack life after prison. 2 years after she was released from prison, Allison Mack's life is far removed from her celebrity heyday before she got involved with an infamous cult. Today, she has studied for a master's degree in social work and leads a fairly quiet existence with her husband, Frank Mienk. She is also ready to take accountability for her actions as she speaks for the first time to a 7-part CBC podcast series called Allison After Nexium. I don't see myself as innocent, Mac 43 admitted. I think that I capitalized on the things I had, and so the success I had as an actor, I think I did capitalize on that. After a few early jobs, Mac really burst onto the scene in 2001 with starring roles in Superman series Smallville. She played Chloe Sullivan. Her life slowly began to derail in 2006 when she and co-star Kristen Krug decided to sign up for a course with Nixvm. We both were at a point where we were 25. We were in New York City together. It was our break, and we had rented an apartment in the same building in the West Village, and we were both like, why do we feel so unsatisfied? Nixvm purported to be a self-help group that promised its members success by helping them overcome blocks on their pathway to growth. In reality, prosecutors described it as a sex cult pyramid scheme that enslaved and branded women. With her celebrity profile, Mac became their star recruiter. By the time of her arrest in early 2018, Nixvm had several subgroups theoretically dedicated to various self-help goals, including an all-women group called DOS, which was actually a secret sex abuse cult comprised of women who were either masters or slaves. At the top was Nixvm leader Keith Rainier, with several levels of slaves beneath him, including Mac, who was in the top tier with the women she brought into becoming her slaves. Mac, herself a victim of abuse, enforced strict near starvation diets on her slaves, who were branded with her and Rainier's initials and forced to have sex with him. I was not kind, and I was aggressive, and I was abusive, Mac admitted to the podcast. I was harsh, and I was callous, and I was aggressive and forceful in ways that were painful for people. In April 2019, Mac pleaded guilty to racketeering and conspiracy charges related to her efforts to recruit women into Nixvm, and she provided assistance to help prosecutors pursue their case against Rainier. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison and released after 2. I am sorry to those of you that I brought into Nixvm. I am sorry I have exposed you to the nefarious and emotionally abusive schemes of a twisted man. Rainier, 65, is in the midst of serving a 120-year sentence in prison, making him certain to die in jail. Shortly after her release in 2023, Mac was walking her dog in the park when she met her future husband, Mink. The former neo-Nazi, 50, was sentenced to 3 years in prison for kidnapping and assaulting with a deadly weapon when he was 17. While in jail, he was de-radicalized and renounced the white supremacist movement. He is now a civil rights activist who spoke at the U.S. House subcommittee hearing on white supremacy infiltrating police departments. He also works for a nonprofit organization in the homeless sector. Wow, so this girl, how weird, right? That she goes to jail, gets part of this cult, sees it's disgusting and stays in it, which is crazy, till she gets arrested. When she gets out, she attracts an ex-neo-Nazi. Like, that's wild. Oh my gosh. She wasn't defending anything, Ming told the podcast. She was just like, here's the deal. A bunch of women got branded. This is one of the reasons I went to jail. You know, we were part of this cult. The pair went in a quiet backyard ceremony with 40 guests, blah, blah, blah. She wants to tell her story in the podcast forum because she loves podcasts and because she's no longer comfortable in front of cameras like she used to be. But just as things quiet down, why dredge up the past at all? People assume I'm this pervert, but that's not what happened. What it was for me. People can believe me or people can think I'm full of shit and not listen, but I feel like I at least have to say it out loud for myself. So that's crazy. That's just, what if she's an actor? Why would? Isn't it interesting? Because it's like, okay, the guy that headed up Keith Rainier, he's obviously a monster, but she's kind of a monster too. I mean, going along with something is also culpability because I don't know. He can't just be the only monster if you were also doing it with him. And now she's like studying to be a psychologist, which is weird, right? I don't know. This is a crazy story. I forgot about this. I remember this all over the news, but I forgot about it.